Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, it's probably been a month since I did a video. It has been really busy. If you are new here, probably like a couple of videos ago, I talked about how we were moving. I started a new job. I added a new job on Sundays with the post office, delivering packages. My husband works full-time. I've been like trying to just stay above water. It has been insane. We are moving next door because the house that we are in right now, we are actually putting up for rent. So the skinny on this is that while we build, we are going to be next door in the duplex and we are renting from our neighbors. We are also putting this home up for rent so that when we go to apply for the loan, we have proof that we are getting an income for this place, because we do want to keep this house as an income property or a rental property, and then also get a loan to build a house on some acreage out in the country. So it has just been a whirlwind. The kids started school. They've been homeschooled for 3 years. We are getting used to the bus schedule. Just been all over the place and it's been so busy. I wasn't gonna make a video, so that's why I feel like very unprepared and very foggy, but I just thought I would get you up to speed. I did a little bit of a ranunculus and anemone update. I think I've like recorded some film. Maybe I'll put that overlay while I'm talking, but it is absolutely time for them to go out. As you probably know though, you can't just take the stuff and put it into the ground. You have to harden it off. So I need to take probably at least the next week. I'm going to bring them out for 2 hours today, probably 4 hours tomorrow, and kind of just increase it over the next week because I have got to get them outside. I don't know what today is, March 15th, March 16th. Yeah, the 16th, because tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I was hoping to get them out much earlier, but we got a weird amount of snow. We got probably 7 inches of snow around here. And then the next day we got another 3 inches, and then a couple days later we had another dusting. So it has been a weird mid-March for us. We always usually get snow, but not that much. Thankfully, the temperatures are warming up and it's not going to stick around, and I'm hoping to get out there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to rototill. It is so wet and so muddy. I might just take some of our compost and like put a couple inches down over a bed and then at least just get them out. So I've got ranunculus, anemone that need to go out. My snapdragons are out of control. They're out of control. They look so good and they're so beautiful. I don't even know what. I think these are the Chantilly. Oh, this is the Costa and yeah, the Chantilly. So they're doing amazing. They need to get out. I got so many. I think, you know, something happened with my Potomacs. I don't know. They just didn't do well. I've got some Potomac here. These are the Madam Butterflies. They're looking good. I wasn't initially planning to pinch these, but the way that they are, I might have to. They need to be fed. I don't know if you can see this, but they're getting like a little bit like a little bit yellow. I think they're really stressed. This is a 200 count plug tray. There you go. This is my Rebecca. I was under the impression that they were really slow to get started, but mine have been doing so well. So I don't know. I don't think they are they cold tolerant? I don't know. Put it in the comments below, because I'm going to try to get as much as I can out of here so that we don't have to move all of this stuff next door into the basement. I just want to really take the racks next door and fill them with all of the heat-loving things, because I have not started celosia or zinnia, but it's getting to be that time. We're probably for 6-7 weeks before our last frost. It's usually the first week of May. I do have some hoops because I bought a hoop bender from Johnny's last year. We bought some EMT conduit. It's a 1/2 inch. They're 10 feet long, and we bend them just to make that kind of hoop. We put them on top of fiberglass rods, and so I'm going to probably put some of those systems out and then cover them. We just have the plastic that we use as the divider. It's this stuff. I don't know what it's called. My husband bought it last year because we were trying to do like a project. It's like in the killer movies, that's usually like when someone's like running through a house that's like under construction. That's the stuff that's hanging up, and that's what we have. I don't know if it lets any light through, but at least it will keep the plants warm. So that's kind of what's running in the back of my head. I don't have any frost cloth, and I'm not going to get anything else. I don't really have any budget. We are trying to penny pinch like crazy. We are being really restrictive on our like budget for what we're bringing into the house. We're trying to cook a lot from scratch, but you guys, guess what? There's no dishwasher next door, And the second bedroom, because there's only 2 bedrooms and there's 6 of us, the second bedroom doesn't have a closet. So there are like boxes of stuff. Oh my gosh, the shuffle is real. But if you want to live like no one else, then you need to live like no one else. Dave Ramsey always says that. And I truly believe that. The people who really just go for it and do the craziest things, sometimes when they take that risk, they are rewarded. And so we're hoping we are on the side of the reward with this big risk. But anyways, that's the plastic that I intend to use outside if we start dipping into the 20s, which we probably will, because March and April, we still have those days where we're 70 degrees and then we drop down like over the course of a week to the high teens overnight. So I have to be prepared for that. Let me show you my dahlias. So this, remember, in an older video, I can link it below, I was starting the tubers in just some regular starting mix and watering them, and the eyes started to swell. Then once there was some green growth, I started fertilizing them, and I just bottom water. I just take one of these out and just put about an inch of water in, and they just suck it up, and they've been doing fantastic. There's some that I didn't divide as well as I probably should have, and so you can tell that there are no eyes on it, and that's okay. I'll just toss those. This one looks like they wanted to start, but I don't know if you can tell, there's some mold in that one, so that one's no good. But otherwise, the other ones look really good, and I just keep them watered regularly. But with those, I'm just going to take a really sharp knife or scissors or like a scalpel type tool and just delicately peel them off, take off the side, take off most of the green on it, and then I like to put them in damp vermiculite in a 72 plug tray with a humidity dome, and I keep that bottom watered just to make sure that the vermiculite is staying moist. In about 10 days, I usually get rootlets. I would love to take a second cutting once these are done, but you guys, I am so, like, it is just so busy. I still have to contact the markets to make sure I can get into those. I contacted them at the end of February and I never heard back. One lady said that their application process wasn't open yet, which it should be now, and then I never heard back from the other market, so I have to follow up on that. And then of course we just have our day-to-day grind stuff and regular work, kids and homework and all of that stuff. I wasn't really intending on showing you a whole lot, but look at this. This is my Pincushion and it looks amazing. These actually, I never did anything in these. I don't know why I put this big huge gap between the 2 varieties, but I did. This is 3 different varieties. I think it's Fata Morgana and Summer Sangria and Salmon Queen. So I'm really excited for those. Got some Sweet William that I actually started in just one of those to-go containers, and then I separated them, and they're looking really good. I think the Sweet series, you are able to get blooms on the first year, so I'm hoping that's the case. They're looking really great. I know that these are probably like considered a cool season flower, so I think they would probably be good, you know, with hardening off and then getting them into the ground. This is my Clary Sage. I was just doing an experiment on them. Man, they're probably, the roots are probably so woven together. I don't know. This actually came in a package with like 5,000 seeds, so I might just, I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably just direct seed because that's what it said to do. These were super fast to germinate, and they have just performed so well. They look so good. I've never ever grown Clary Sage, but I think the pictures of them look amazing. I saw Johnny's has like a new variety that's just purple. This is kind of a mix from Floret, but anyways, they're looking good. Honeywort is huge. It's angry. It needs to go into like a 50 cell plug tray. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but it needs to happen. I can just tell by just tugging on it a little bit that they are just woven in with each other. So I hope everything survives. These actually have some weird speckles on them. Let's see if I can get a close up. I don't know, they have some weird spots on them, and I have seen gnats, so I think we're gonna have a gnat problem. So that's another reason why I just want to take everything and get it into the garden and not even bother with putting it in the basement, so that we don't transfer any of those like kind of issues, because once they start eating your roots. They lay their eggs in the soil, and the larva starts to just eat at the root matter, and then your plants just die. And I think some of that happened to me last year as well as damping off. So look at these. Eek! Okay, these are the Chabot series for carnations. I am so excited for these. I just saw Serena from You Can't Eat the Grass talk about how she didn't like these and she didn't like growing them. I hope I don't feel the same way, because I just think that they are amazing. So I am giving them a try. We'll see. So this is my stock, and it is big and huge. and needs to, can you even see this? The lighting is so bad. I'm recording on my phone. One day I will be able to afford a camera and do all the fun things and have really clear videos. But until that day, you're just gonna get stuck with this. These look really good and big, but again, it's like, oh, I gotta separate them. When am I gonna do that? I don't have the time. Feverfew, these are Vegmo Snowball and Sunny Ball. That was a new one that I got in my second shipment from Johnny's. That actually is starting to look really, really good. I think these do well in the cold as well. So I think if I harden them off, I can just probably separate them as I put them out. Guys, I really don't know what I'm doing. I will say that this method is really, really quick in the beginning. Sewing them into these to-go containers, putting their little lids on, having them germinate really quickly. The problem is that once it's time to separate them, it is even busier and later in your season, and finding the time to separate them is really hard. At least that's what my experience is. So I think next year I'm going to forego the front end, the ease of the front end of this, and I am going to sew everything in my plug trays versus starting them here and then slowly transferring them and up potting them into the cell trays. It's just too much work, and I'm not finding the time, and the time is literally disappearing so quickly. This is another Feverfew. This is the Tetra White. I got like, I don't know, 1,000 seeds of this, so I just sprinkled them in. It looks, oh, these smell like marigolds. Weird. Anyways, I just sprinkled these in, and they're doing so good, but I just have not had time to up pot them. So I think some of these things like the Feverfew poppies, I'm just going to multi-sew them into plug trays and then just put them out into the field like in little clumps, and we'll see how that goes, because this has just been too big of a stressor. It was like super great on the front end, like, just sprinkle the seeds, pop them in, go. But now it has become like an issue, and it's stressing me out. So lesson learned. I just dropped my foxglove. These are my poppies. I don't know why there's so much algae growth on here, but there is. But they look good. I have been feeding them. I probably need to go on top with a foliar spray and do some more of the fish emulsion. That's just what I've been using. I feed them once a week, average-ish. So I seriously was not planning on showing you all of my seedlings, but here we are. This is my foxglove. I think it came in like, ooh, okay, stay. I think this came in a pack of maybe 25 or 50, but this is all that survived. So this was one that I did sew into a cell tray, and I don't know if it didn't stay watered evenly enough. But anyways, the ones that survived do look good. Oh, it looks like we have another casualty. Nothing in that one. Oh, I cannot wait for a greenhouse. I just cannot wait. It is so hard to water these. All I've been doing is bottom watering them, but in the trays, they still don't suck up water evenly enough. And so I would love to transfer these from the hole-less 10-20 trays into the ones that have the holes, and then these are big enough I could overhead water. This is a lupin from 2 years ago. I'm surprised anything germinated. I did soak them overnight, and I just plopped them in here and covered them with a little bit of soil. These do not like their roots disturbed. They have one single tap root, and they really just don't like to be moved. So these need to get into some sort of tray. There's probably 20 or so here. This is the Russell mix, and I think these should bloom in the fall, and then, or late summer, and then the next year they'll like perennialize, and then they should bloom closer to June, like in late spring. But anyways, I think this has a good mix of colors. I'm really excited to see what this does. My eucalyptus. So I was here yesterday and I was like, oh, what is that smell? It's the lemon bush. It smells like citronella. So it's not like a pleasant lemon smell, I don't think, because I don't love the smell of citronella, but it does smell citrusy. And it's so cool. I hope these do well. I started these back on the 1st of February. And they're pretty damp still. I will say that I have noticed on the coconut coir based mix specifically that it grows algae so much faster than the other stuff. More algae and sooner, much earlier, like almost right away. I have trays and trays of larkspur. So this is an interesting little story. So with my larkspur, I had them multi-seeded. Oh, this needs water. Bad. I multi-seeded these, meaning I put several seeds in each cell tray. And I put a dome lid on it, a humidity dome, and then I put them on a heat mat. They were on a heat mat for 2 weeks and they did nothing. And I was like, shoot, I killed these all. But I didn't have it in me to throw them away. So I put the heat dome back on, or the humidity dome, and I put them on a shelf outside this door, like, and it's dark. And I came and looked, and like a week later, most of them have sprouted. So larkspur does not like the heat mat, and it doesn't like light apparently. So dark and just in a cool spot in your basement. And even if you think you've killed your larkspur, it probably just doesn't have the conditions that are right for it. And once you make the conditions right, it will actually come back. So maybe you didn't kill it. Let's actually look at another tray that's doing really, really well. Oh my gosh, this is very like impromptu. Like I am not ready to share this, but here we are. Okay, so look at this tray. Can you even see it? Ah, it's so dark. I'm sorry, the quality is so bad. But look, they are so ready to go out. And these are super, super, super cold hardy. So I think if I harden them off, I won't even need to cover them. I can let them get snowed on. I don't know. Don't take advice from me. Not for a couple of years, you guys. I really don't know what I'm doing. Look at these. These are the Delphinium belladonna mix. They are the trickiest things to start, but I was able to save a few. And here they are, and they're looking good. These are like the first batch that kind of sprouted, and I plucked them from the tray and I kept the humidity dome on for another week or so. And then these guys kind of popped up and I plucked them from the tray, and then I just threw the rest out because I wasn't going to sit there and have it take space on the heat mat. And I just didn't know if it was going to germinate, but I have about 20, which I think is going to be a great start. Chinese forget-me-nots. I don't know. They were looking so good. And now I have a lot of death and like mold even. I was kind of reading, so there's all these brown spots on them, and some of them just have completely like brown leaves. I was reading that it's like can be overwatering, but I like neglected these and didn't water them, so maybe it's underwatering. A lot of them are still salvageable, so they're gonna go out. These are the blue something, the blue ones. The best tray of Lizzy Angus, and I think this is the one. Ooh, they're doing so good. I just can't believe it. I think I said on one of my last videos that after up potting one, I was never gonna do that again. So this one I up potted from the coconut coir to the peat moss and from a 200 to a 125. They're looking good, but they're not any bigger than the other ones over here. They look just cleaner. There's more aesthetic appeal to them, but they are virtually the same size as these. I am wrestling with root shield. I don't know if it's worth the $200 to get the root shield and increase their chances of survival once they get into the field. I really don't have it in our budget, so I think I'm going to forego it, and I might regret that because these have seriously been sitting here since the end of January, and there's probably at least 1,200 that are good. I think I'm going to risk it for the biscuit and not do the root shield just because it's not in our budget, and I'm like okay with that. Other one, look at this is the green mist, and it's looking really good, but again, it's like what do I can't up pot it now. Like thinking maybe I would take like a knife and like just try to cut little sections and then just like pot each little square. Man, if ever someone had done something so insanely not by the book, this is it. Some Queen Anne's lace. They're all coming up slowly but surely. But again, like what? I don't like this method. I don't like this method at all. Like now that I'm looking at it and seeing how many trays I have and how much like time it would take now to up pot and all of this, I really don't love it. It does save on space. But like I said, if we make anything this year, this season, it is going to go to a hoop house first and foremost, not a tractor, not compost, not anything. It's going to be a heated hoop house, heated greenhouse, whatever, so that we can have lots of space and start lots of flowers and not have to mess around with this. I don't like it. Let me take you back over to the other side because I missed something. I actually missed a few something. This is agrostemma. Isn't it beautiful? It looks so good and so healthy. But again, dang, I'm gonna have to really learn like which things can be direct sewn, because these actually popped up super, super quick. Even if I don't direct sew them, just putting them, taking the time on the front end and putting them in a cell tray. I know I'm like beating a dead horse at this point, but they look so beautiful and so healthy, and it's too late. It's too late. It's too late to separate them. So I will keep you posted on the mania and what I'm doing to resolve all of this, because it's just not going to happen. They're going to go from here to the field at this point. I'm just going to harden them off in these containers. And I think the last thing that I will show you, this is Saponaria. Again, it's like just doing its own thing. I don't know. And you know, I took the Florat workshop and I still feel like a maniac. Like I still feel like I just don't know what I'm doing. This is year 2. I'm not going to beat myself up. Whatever grows, grows. And I still have a ton of seeds that are heat loving. So I had success with those. So hopefully I can have a repeat of that. Cool season flowers are just difficult. They're finicky. I have found that some things like the heat mat, but total darkness. Some things like room temp, total darkness. Some things like cold, but lots of light. Some things like the heat mat first until they sprout, and then they like room temp. Some things will sprout at room temp with light. I mean, it's all over the board. So I think I'm gonna like devise a little chart and kind of map out what I've seen and what prefers what, and something to reference next year, because we all know I am not going to remember it next year. It has been a blur. And that's okay. We're just going to keep going forward, because that's the name of the game. That is where success is picking yourself up and moving forward. Like I said, this was totally impromptu. The quality is super, super bad. One day, maybe YouTube will pay me a few bucks to have these videos out into the world, and then I can buy a camera and we can have a higher quality experience. If you have made it to the end here, thank you so much. I'm trying to get you caught up as much as I can with all that's going on with school and with work and with moving and with building and transferring the farm out to the big farm, but also getting things established here at our P Street location. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. The next video will probably be, wouldn't you know, taking the cuttings of the dahlias and sprouting them. So we'll see you soon. Bye.